are the global trends that you are seeing in the RPA space? I know that, before we started recording, we were just talking about how there's all of a sudden a massive uptick from the market in terms of demand for RPA. What are the global trends that you're seeing in the market?
Sarah, I'll take this one. So I think number one trend at this stage would be cloud is driving a lot of innovation within RPA at this stage. And really what cloud helps enable is the fact that you can drive quick innovation into the platform. So if you have a proper cloud-based architecture, we call this a microservices architecture. So it's the same way that, cloud-based systems like Salesforce or these kind of, born in the cloud type of companies work, where it's built on little microservices and not a big monolithic platform. So if you've got this kind of platform, it allows you to drive a lot of innovation into the platform, all the while, making sure that you've got good security in the platform, that it can scale in a very predictable manner. So yeah, I'd say cloud is definitely one of the key themes that we see as a big trend at this stage. So it's almost the overarching theme. Within this, there's, let's call it sub-themes, smaller themes that's playing out, which cloud enables then as well. So I've mentioned the fact that we've got this ability to structure unstructured data. So we call this cognitive automation. So that's where we use some artificial intelligence and machine learning to train the robots how to read documents, for instance, understand those documents, and being able to then structure that information. I think the next concept that is also quite prevailing at this stage is the fact that there's a lot of effort that goes into understanding the process. So before you even get to the automation phase where you can actually automate the process, you need to first understand the process, understand whether there's a potential business case for automating certain business processes. So there's a lot of, let's call it, movement in the market. So companies like ours acquiring other companies that help with this mapping and understanding of processes. Because the quicker you can map and understand the process, the sooner you can then get to the point where you say, is this a good process to actually automate? Because not all processes, it is a given, not all processes might be good candidates. Some processes just require so much human intervention that they might not be a good candidate. So you might be able to automate certain things before and after. But I think what we want to get to then with process understanding and process intelligence, as we call it then, is to get a better understanding of the complexities of the process, how often it runs, the potential business case for that. And that process intelligence capability is quite big at the stage where, as I say, companies like ours are acquiring these kind of technologies to incorporate and make it part of our overall offering, making it easier for the customer to understand and map their processes. And actually, we take it to the point where we provide a process design document for the customer with this technology. Much better way of going about it, because it gives you a very unbiased way to understand that process. The alternative being, if you interview people and try and understand the way that people are doing the process, it's very intrusive into their daily work life, into what they're doing on a day-by-day basis. Using technology and a data-driven approach, very unintrusive. So literally, we can record how they're doing their processes or executing their processes without interfering with their daily work, and it gives us, a very, very clear picture of what they do and how they do it, including all the alterations and variations of the process. So yeah, I think that those would be some of the key themes that we see playing out. I think the final one that I see as a big trend in the market at this stage would be automation. The automation theme in front office environments. So front office, if we think about contact centers, there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time with very manual and repetitive tasks in contact centers to service customer requests. So in that contact center space, if you can automate some of these manual mundane tasks, you can save a lot of time and energy. And this is one of the key themes that we see have taken off globally, especially if we consider some of the pressures globally, in terms of the Great Resignation and how quickly people move on from jobs. You don't get a lot of time to actually train people up. So you really need to be very agile in your organization, and finding talent, getting them to be able to do their job in a very short space of time. So that automation that we can bring in that space really helps our customers quite a lot.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Stefan. So then let's get into just understanding how RPA works. I know, Stefan, you've touched a little bit on that. Let's bring in Taneo, who's the engineer and the technical guy. Taneo, how would you explain to a layman, how does RPA work?
Okay, thanks, Sarah. So RPA works in varied circumstances. So we cater for that specific particular process that we are looking at, but there are so many ways of working with RPA. So the first way would be to work via the graphical user interface, simulating what the human being would do, like I mentioned earlier. And then there's also the other way of working with background things like APIs. So if the software or the system application that we're working with has that ability, we can also do that. So usually we look at things like volume of data. So if the volume of data is so huge, then it would make sense to push that data via APIs. But if it's not, then we use the graphical user interface. The reason being it's more reliable and it's quicker and easier, and you don't have to rely on other parties. And then the other thing that I want to mention is we've got the capability for business users to automate some of their processes. So we have what is called like a universal recorder, which allows you to record yourself whilst you are performing certain actions, and then it will be able to repeat these actions for you, obviously with passing in some variable information as required. So that makes it easy for some technical business users to be able to automate their own processes. And then the other thing that I want to mention is the cognitive and AI side. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel and start creating whatever capabilities that you need from the very beginning. You can make use of third-party tools that are readily available. So you can go onto GCP and you can go onto AWS, Azure, all their machine learning and artificial intelligence like natural language processing, conversations, chatbots, all those things. You can integrate them easily within RPA and get those capabilities into your processes quite easily.